Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to another episode on Inside the Ring. On today's episode, we're going to be going over my favorite top 10 wrestlers of the PG era in WWE. So, to start things off with my number one, and probably most of your guys' number one, it's got to be John Cena, without a doubt. The greatest of all time, 16-time world champ, hopefully gets that 17th, maybe next year when he returns for his final run. But, just an easy answer, right? Everyone's childhood hero. Um, always, putting on great matches, had so many good feuds. I think he's the best on the mic of all time, let alone the greatest of all time. He just did everything right and, just an absolute gem. Brings us to my number two, which is CM Punk, the best in the world. Obviously we got, you know, cut short of CM Punk's time in WWE in 2014, I think it was, um, due to issues with Vince McMahon. But that title run, that WWE title run, 434 days, I think it was. Just generational. From being, face and even heel in, both during his time as champion. He was just phenomenal, doing both. Uh, so good. Another guy that I think is the one of the best of all time on the mic. Probably number two or three between him and The Rock. Just so good. Another guy that puts on great matches night in night out. The crowd never hated him, never went against him. Whether he was a good guy or bad guy, the crowd always loved him. So definitely my number two there. Brings me to my number three, Randy Orton. A guy that just doesn't age. He's been wrestling for over 20 years with WWE. He's been loyal to the company. Um, you know, he always just looks in great shape. He's never looked out of shape. Another guy that the crowd can just never hate. He's just a legend killer. So many good runs. You talk about '09 Orton. You talk about 2020 Orton. Just so many good eras of Randy Orton. 14-time world champ. I was about to say 15, 14-time world champ though. And hopefully we get at least one more title run out of Randy Orton because I still think he's got about 3 to 5 years left in him. So hopefully we get at least one more. Brings me to numbers 4 and 5, and this is really interchangeable for me. It's Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Without the Shield, what is the WWE today? These guys, really picked up the PG era, because without them, WWE might not be as not might by, it would not be as big as it is today if it wasn't for those two. The Shield being introduced to WWE was the best thing that could have ever happened to the business, during the PG era. From their time in the Shield, and then to Seth turning on the Shield. Their solo careers, were even better than they were as a group. Both aspects of it, just so good. That's why I say interchangeable. I really don't like one guy over the other guy. They were just both so amazing, and made WWE so fun to watch. And even in today, 2024, we still have storylines that are going back to 2014 to when Seth turned on the Shield. It just shows you how important that they are to the business and forever will be. At number 6, we have the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus. He was definitely one of my favorite growing up. Just such a good in-ring performer. I think that, he's had many good, characters throughout the years. My favorite was the original Sheamus, when he won the Royal Rumble in 2012, that 2010 to 2012 kind of Sheamus, just a great character, world champ, former, I think, two-time world heavyweight champion. He was always good on the mic, many great storylines with him. I think him and Cesaro as a tag team, that was phenomenal. We obviously just got his return on Monday, so that's obviously awesome to see. Number 7, we have Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was another one of those guys that, made WWE so fun to watch in the PG era. Obviously, the fans were, rallied behind him, wanted him to have his WrestleMania moment and become WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Got him. The fans ultimately got him inserted into that match at WrestleMania with Batista and Randy Orton, where he ultimately won the title. The crowd loved this guy. He was involved in so many good storylines. To talk about his tag team era with Kane, Team Hell No. That whole storyline was one of the best of all time. Let alone the PG era. I thought that was so good. And then, just as a singles character, the GOAT phase, and then, he had that little bad guy heel turn in, like, I think it was 2018, 19, when he was WWE champion. Just many good characters. This guy, just a guy you can't hate. Number 8, we have none other than Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston, I mean, you talk about a legend. I think Kofi Kingston's a Hall of Famer. I know that he, hasn't had the world titles, only a one-time WWE championship, which I'm about to talk about, but I think he's a Hall of Famer just for all he's done in the business. Another guy that's remained loyal to the company through so many years. I mean, he was involved in so many tag teams. I can think off the top of my head, R-Truth, Evan Bourne, Team Air Boom. That was phenomenal. Obviously, the New Day. I mean, just part of so many good teams and, just such a good in-ring performer. Right? You talk about his Royal Rumble spots, just being so entertaining, like, jumping from the barricade to the ring, just all of his cool Royal Rumble moments. I mean, just a guy that, really defined the PG era. Number 9, we have Dolph Ziggler. This one's a little sad, right? I mean, he just wasn't pushed when he should have been pushed. There was many moments where, he could have been pushed by Vince, didn't get the push that he needed. Such a fun character. I really thought he was going to be the next Shawn Michaels in WWE. It sucks that he wasn't, but, his super kick was one of a kind. The best I've ever seen since Shawn Michaels. Dolph Ziggler's definitely number 2 in that category. And another guy that's just really good on the mic. I remember his storylines back in like 2012 when he was Mr. Money in the Bank. With John Cena. He had a lot of good feuds, a lot of moments where they could have pushed him back then. When he became World Heavyweight Champion, after cashing in. He had, I think, other than Seth Rollins, I think Dolph Ziggler had the greatest Money in the Bank cash in of all time. Such a fun character. It sucks that he's not with WWE anymore, but that leads us to my number 10, The Miz. Now, growing up, I did not like The Miz because most of the time he was a bad guy, he was the heel, but, getting older, you realize what a good, character The Miz is, in WWE, whether he's a heel or face. He's obviously better as a heel. Just, I really think he is the Intercontinental Champion. You know what I mean? He is that championship. I don't know how many times he's won it, but, every year it felt like back then he was Intercontinental Champion. And, for good reason, right? He was great mic skills. Top 5 mic skills of all time. I know we've seen and CM Punk on this list, but The Miz has got to be in there somewhere as well. So good on the mic. Miz TV was always entertaining. He was always, having great storylines. A 2-time WWE champion. I really wish, his second WWE championship run, lasted longer than 8 days. I think he deserves more than that. But, right now, he's having his moment, with R-Truth being a tag team champion. I really think that, it's what he needs. I think he's close to, retiring. Hopefully not for, like, another 3 to 5 years. But, The Miz is an all-time great, whether you like it or not. So yeah, guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. Let me know down in the comments below who you guys' top 10 wrestlers of the PG era are. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like.